Earlier today, I had someone ask me in a live stream, why are you doing this? Do you have any shame? Like, how pathetic are you that you want to talk about religion, someone else's religion, all day? Religion that you left behind. You're a former Muslim. Like, don't you have anything better to do? And boy, oh boy, did I give the answer. Did I give it no holes barred? I gave the answer straight from my heart. And here you go. I give you my response. UFB says, Abdullah, can I ask you a question? Is your life so bankrupt that you have made your life to talk about the religion you left? Do you want to go first or should I go first?
You go first because he's asking you.
Okay. Yeah, my life is so awful. I wake up every day and I cry and I think, how dare Allah ruin my life? And then I'm like, I have to go online and I have to get back at Allah. I hate Allah so much. It's like, I need to. Like that's like, is that what you think I'm doing? Like, the reason I do this, if you can't tell, it's because I like doing this. I enjoy talking about religion. This is one of my, in fact, when I was Muslim, I enjoyed talking about religion too. I was blabbing about Islam to everyone. I'm like, Islam's the best religion. So one thing is I truly enjoy it. In fact, I mean, I was talking to Huda just before we went live that this live stream, like live streams don't like make that much money or get that much views, but there's so much fun. So like, this is my life. I'm allowed to do what I want to do with it. Second of all, Islam is truly bad, right? Like maybe that should be the first reason. I just felt like saying I'll do what I want, but Islam is truly bad, right? In fact, I spoke to a former jihadi recently that told me that, you know, you're literally saving lives.
Literal jihadi, guys.
Literal jihadi.
We're not even just saying that like in a joking sense, but like a literal jihadi.
Yeah. He's like, you know, you're saving lives by what you do, because the less people that convert to Islam, and he was a convert, the less people end up joining this crazy thing. And frankly speaking, you know, I was talking to someone in my family and she's like, that's not what Islam's about, like ISIS or whatever. I'm like, who's like, how do you say that? Based on what? I said, aren't they doing what Muhammad did? Aren't they like implementing what he did? Aren't they following his actions? And I gave some examples and she was like, oh, that's a good point. So you could argue that Islam is not violent. You could argue that, and I'm assuming that's what you are arguing, that Islam is gray, is peaceful, whatever. But the existence of terrorism, continued threats of violence on the world, I mean, just recently, we had one of the relatives of another Avlaki, like threatening America and saying we got to kill Trump and all these people. We had a church bombed in Syria by Buddhists. No, actually, not by Buddhists. By Jains. No. By Hindus. No. By Christians. No. No, it wasn't Christians bombing Christians. Who was it? It was Islamic terrorists again. So at the very least, you know, I want to create some doubts in the minds of people. What can we do in a world like that? Muslims are not solving the problem of terrorism. I don't see Muslims, like you have Muslims like Hamza Yusuf and Yasser Qadi, they're like, you know, fighting, just trying to like stop terrorism, supposedly, but they're having no impact. Maybe they're having a small impact. I don't know. But I personally think the best thing to do to rid the world of terrorism, at least this form of terrorism, I'm not saying there's nothing else bad in the world. Not saying there's not, like, I'm not saying this is the only cause worth fighting for it, but this cause is important to me. I lived my life as a Muslim for many, many, many years. I took it seriously. I bowed down to Allah 5 times a day, day after day. I gave up music. I put my kids in Islamic school. I kept them away from Halloween. I did everything I could I created Dawah websites, and I worked with Yusuf Estes and Eddie and the King Fahad Quran complex, and I made this Quran. I did all of this for the sake of Allah because I believed in it. So I have as much right, if I have a right to do all that, I have as much right, if not more, to tell people, hey, I was wrong about all that stuff, and that Islam is false, and that you should not follow this religion, and that these guys are bad for the world. This guy, what he's saying, this hypocrite that's lecturing her about Western women and having secret hotel wives in Makkah. Sorry, hotel wives, Messiah wives in Makkah. On his wife. I call it cheating because that's what it is. It's dishonesty, and he had to divorce her. We didn't even get to the part where he talks about Western men using women and how Islam protects them. Like, you know what? If anything, this has given me some sort of purpose and community. In fact, I met my wife because of what I'm doing.
This is a true story.
You're not going to stop me. You're not going to prevent any of us. If I stop what I'm doing, guys like this will get away with murder. This freaking Ali Dawa guy. They're going to continue convincing women this woman's good. She's not falling for it. But some other women, they do fall for it and they convert to Islam. And many of them leave. Thank God. Many of them leave because of us. Many of them don't become Muslim because of us. And we think we're doing a good thing. You think you're doing. If you believe they have a right to speak, I have the right to speak as well. So I'm not going to stop. I don't care. Do you want to add to that?
Yes, I do. So, I mean, there's different spectrums of this too, as I always look at it. Okay, there's us. We were Muslim and we left and we talk about it. Okay, but then, you get into like the bro Haji. They're going to be like, brother, why do you talk about people in the Ummah like this? This is backbiting. You should talk to them. It's like, and they make, they talk about the Salmans and whatever. I think I'm not going to be able to paraphrase as good at all, but David Wood said something to the effect of like, it just doesn't matter what you do. The outcome's still the same. It's true. So it's like, okay, you're saying, is your life so bankrupt that you have to make it your life to talk about the religion you left? I mean, it doesn't matter if it's us talking about Islam in some way, or it's Bro Haji, or Behind Veils, Salman, or David. It doesn't matter. Whatever we say, you're still going to bitch and moan about what we're doing. So, or whatever anybody else is doing. So we're going to just keep talking about this.
Yeah. And someone else made a good point that there are, how do I say this? Many people better than me that could do a much better job than me, but they can't. That new friend of mine, former jihadi, he can't speak out about these things. I wish he could. He's like fluent in Arabic. He knows Islam inside out. I know another guy in a private WhatsApp group I'm in, which I've made, that's also a scholar, like literal scholar, wrote books. Like, oh my God, I wish you guys knew the people I know that are like so grateful that we're able to do this, because they can't do it because they can't escape as easily. They have limitations on their lives. Could be security like limitations. Like former jihadi could end up being like he lives in a place where there's other people that know who he is, and there's limitations on people's lives, so they can't do it. So I'm gonna do it. And being in the Dawa, anti-Dawa, whatever you want to call it, being in this scene, you get to know a lot of stories, right? Like Huda and I get emails every day from people, and so we have like access to insights that the public doesn't. We hear stories of people that are ever so grateful, and so you know what? If you care about living in a better world, you're gonna do what I do, and you're gonna be like, okay, I get what you're doing. I might not agree with you, but I get what you're doing. You believe in what you're saying, so you have the right to do so. I mean, to lecture me about speaking about, it's not gonna work.
And I think like people like this, they tend to forget that our entire personality in life is not, Mr. and Mrs. Friendly Ex-Muslim. Yeah. Like we actually, guys, we're married. We're very normal people. We like to go out on dates together, and we like to, hang out at night together and watch Netflix. And we were watching The Poop Cruise last night on Netflix. We were watching, what was the Forrest Fenn one called? The
Hidden Treasure. Yeah.
Yeah. We were watching that. Like, we love to watch like documentaries. We were watching Lost together for a while. Yeah, we just, we like to just walk our dog. I mean, we live normal lives. It's just, we are people who lived a certain type of life, and we left that life behind, and we just talk about it.
It's the exact opposite. Your life has to be in good working order in order to sustain this because what we do comes with a risk too. And it's a non-trivial risk. Is the risk of being doxxed, is the risk of being canceled, is the risk of being killed, and we still do it. So what does that tell you? Like, this is like the least like, this is like the most dangerous thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Yet we do it because we have a love for humanity and we care about people and we want the world to be, I want to create a world that I'm proud of, that my kids can live in peace. And that they don't need to fear, they don't have to be Muslim. They don't want to, they can live their lives. They can have that freedom. And so we believe in this. I truly believe in Western values. And I think they're the best values. And so I'm going to, fight for that. This is my little fight,
Yeah. Too, just looking at this from another angle, saying, we talk about religion, we left. I mean, there are people who are victims of, being part of high control religions. There's a whole channel called Cults to Consciousness. You could say the same thing to, I forget the name of the girl that owns the channel, but you could say the same thing to her. It's like, you left this, I think she was Mormon. You left this. Why do you keep talking about this? Because we want to, because there are stories out there, because there are people who are traumatized by this. There are people who are doubting, who are confused. And it's the same thing if you go to therapy. Like, there's people who are in therapy for what they've experienced, whether it's this or something else, some other traumatic life event for years, their whole lives. People struggle with leaving behind certain things or things that happen to them. So, you can look at it through that lens too. We talk about it because we want to. We talk about it because there's people out there we help. So, yeah.
Yeah. And at this point, I don't have a full-time job, but I would probably have one soon, hopefully. And so this is, again, this has always been, for the last 7 years, until I lost my job recently, has not been my full-time thing. This has been something I do because I want to do it. And it's not been the thing that sustained me, although it has helped me to survive in this period of time between jobs. And also the irony is the same person, UFB, is talking about how leaving Islam is treason. And like, these people, do they hear themselves? You're advocating that someone like me should be killed, and you're asking me why I talk about it? Like, what? Bro, I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, so let's